Prašau, premjerė.
Labadiena, man tikrai labai malonu šiandien priimti savo kolegą, Kanados ministrą pirmininką Justiną Trudeau, atvykus į Vilnių su mums ypač svarbia dvišalė naujiena. Šiame susitikime ministras pirmininkas pranešė apie atidaromą, ar jau veikiančią nuo šiandien ambasadą, Kanados ambasadą Vilniuje. Ir tikrai labai džiaugiamės šituo Kanados vyriausybės sprendimu. Esu tikra.
We are really glad about this decision by the Canadian government. I'm sure that this presence of the embassy will allow us to strengthen our ties between our states and expand our bilateral agenda. Canada is a close partner of Lithuania, and the basis of our friendship are the same values that join us: freedom, democracy, and the rule of law principle, respect for human rights, and mutual responsibility for the rules-based international order. We are very grateful to Canada that it has never approved Lithuanian annexation. This was very important for the people of our country who lived under the occupation. This Canadian stance only proves how important is a value-based foreign policy foundation that joins our nations today. I'm glad about our bilateral cooperation in the area of economy. We still have room to improve, especially when it comes to higher value goods or services, or expanding startups ecosystems. During the meeting, I thanked the Prime Minister and Canada for their contribution in strengthening the security of the Baltic region, the command of the EFP in Latvia, and their troops' presence in the unit in Vilnius. I also congratulated the Canadian plans to significantly expand their presence in Latvia. We discussed the brutal Russia's war against Ukraine and Russia's preparation for confrontation against the West and their aims to weaken across the globe. Lithuania highly values cooperation with Canada when it comes to international sanctions against Russia and Belarus and support for Ukraine. We have agreed that we must stay united and determined when stopping the Russian aggression and supporting Ukraine until its victory. The peace must be determined by not the aggressor, but by Ukraine that is defending the European freedom. Only in this way we can expect a stable peace in Europe. For this, we need to integrate Ukraine into the Euro-Atlantic security architecture faster. Only by removing the gray zones we can end the vicious cycle of Russian wars in Ukraine, in Europe. Together with my counterpart, we discussed the NATO summit issues, also deterrence and defense issues, especially in the eastern flank, and the Ukrainian path towards NATO, as well as investments into defense. I do believe that this week in Vilnius, the decisions that we will make, that they will be significant and courageous. With this Euro-Atlantic security architecture, the aggressor will not even think about using the force. Once again, I welcome my colleague Justin Trudeau in Vilnius, not only to participate in the historic NATO summit, but also on this very important occasions for our bilateral relations. Thank you.
Thank you, Ingrida, Prime Minister Šimonytė, for inviting me to sit down and discuss important matters with you in this extraordinarily beautiful spot. It really is something that highlights not just the beauty of your country, but the history as well. And it is very fitting that we start our approach gathering for NATO here tonight. We couldn't have a better host for the NATO summit than Lithuania at this incredibly consequential moment. You are a Baltic country, a democracy within close proximity to Russia. You understand the realities of the current security environment in Europe better than most. I very much appreciated hearing your perspective and also strengthening the bilateral relationship between our two countries. Earlier this afternoon, I was in Latvia at Camp Adadsi, where Canada announced that we are more than doubling our current troop deployment to enhanced forward presence Latvia. This will make a significant contribution to NATO readiness in the region and helps us achieve the commitment we made at the Madrid NATO summit last year to scale up EFP Latvia to a brigade to continue to deter Russian aggression across the Baltics. Canadian armed forces are leading training and working alongside NATO troops from almost a dozen countries. And this multinational effort is incredibly important for defense and security. The strong relationships we share as allies and like-minded democracies are more important than ever. This is one of the reasons Canada is expanding its diplomatic presence in the Baltics. We're expanding our embassy in Riga, and we're officially establishing a Canadian embassy in Lithuania here in Vilnius, as well as a Canadian embassy in Estonia. As members of the transatlantic community, it is more important than ever that we deepen our ties. La Première ministre Šimonytė et moi avons discuté de l'agression persistante de la Russie et condamné l'invasion illégale et injustifiable de l'Ukraine par Poutine. L'indépendance et l'intégrité territoriale des nations souveraines doivent être respectées. On est solidaire de l'Ukraine et des femmes et des hommes héroïques qui se battent sans relâche pour défendre leur pays, leur langue et leur droit de choisir leur propre avenir. We will stand up to any aggressor who tries to impose their own belief that might makes right. We are united in our mission to protect freedom, democracy and the rule of law. Thank you. Merci. Ačiū.
Dėkojame gerbiamiems ministrams pirmininkams. Linkime gražios dienos.
Thank you, dear Prime Ministers, and have a great day.